We can get everything. Thank you always for being tuned in. Roger Hansen. I'll get Censorship Sucks and the rest of the crew in here in a matter of a few minutes. Don't know why it's doing that. All right. But we'll get everything up and rolling here in just a little bit. Just taking some time, you know. This is all about the pre-show right now. And getting everything to work like it's supposed to. You know how that works. Some days are better than others. But we'll get it going. Very odd that I can't get don't know why it's doing. Oh, that's why. Well, it sure helps if I turn the switch on to get it going, right? There we go. And I'll get the rest of the folks up like Censorship Sucks right now. I'm gonna give them a call.
What's up?
All right. Well, I had a little bit of connection issues earlier with a couple of the platforms. That's why I'm running a little bit behind as far as the call.
Can't do that. But no, it's not going to cut it, man. You're 2 minutes late, dude. That's unacceptable.
Yeah. Unacceptable. Okay, Barry, you keep it up. All right. You just. Yeah.
How dare you? 2 whole minutes, man.
Gary, you tell him, man.
Yeah. Compared to what? You know. Oh, it's Mother's Day. It's Father's Day. It's Christmas.
Are
Don't-
we live
don't
right
give
now?
me
Are we
that shit,
broadcasting?
Barry.
Are we broadcasting yet, Mark?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, yeah.
We sure are.
Okay. I want to talk to you off the record at some point.
Okay.
Me?
No, tomorrow.
Tomorrow will be good in the evening.
Okay.
All right. Good or bad?
No, just off the record. It's fine. It's nothing really.
All right. Let's.
Secrets, man. You know.
Well, you just don't want to broadcast everything.
Yeah.
Of course not. I know. I feel you too. I feel the same way. There's just some things you don't want. Well, the whole world doesn't need to know. You know.
I want to censor it. I'm censoring.
Censor. It's all about censorship, man.
And you're talking about what?
Censorship sucks.
That. Oh yeah. That it always sucks, man.
Dude, I
Yeah.
got some sunflower seeds today. I haven't eaten sunflower seeds in forever. I thought they were like out of the shell, but they're in the shell,
Oh, that's no fun.
and I don't even know how you would go about eating one of these. Like, what do you even do to eat this? Like, how do you?
You put it in your mouth and you crack it, man, and then you spit it out. It's really a waste of time.
Yeah, it's. I was looking forward to like a bunch of sunflower seeds in here, but they're in the shell, and I don't even know what to do with it.
Did you know
I'm just
that
gonna throw them out.
both
Actually, I'll
sunflower?
give them to the birds.
I was gonna say that might work. I don't know if
Yeah, birds
it's
might like it.
salted. I don't know if that's good for them though.
It's spicy lime flavored.
Dude, I saw
Spicy
this.
lime.
I saw the saddest thing on my walk today, dude. It
What?
like I was walking and then I decided to turn back around and go a different way. And as I turned around and started walking, it kind of freaked me out because there was a squirrel like right next to me, you know, and he didn't jump, but I kind of jumped and I looked down and he was just like crawling with his front two I don't know, his paws or whatever you call them, legs, and his back two legs had been broken. Apparently he got run over or something.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and I was thinking to myself, that guy, he's not going to make it in squirrel world because you got to be able to climb up trees. You got to be able to do.
Yeah.
Dodge and go, man. Dodge and go.
Yeah. And so I was just like, he'll probably die of heat stroke or something. But man, it was just like, that's sad, dude. But
Yeah.
when you see something like that, you're like, man, you know, nah, I don't wish him dead, but it's almost like, if they'd gotten killed instantly, would it have been better, you know, than suffering for who knows how long? I don't know. Maybe they can survive like that. He was walking around, but only because I scared him, you know, and it was slow.
Animals have a way of persevering too, though. You know, if I've seen deer with, you know, just
Serious.
3 legs, you know, and they get around and they do their thing, but you know, I've never seen one with 2, and that would scare me. If it got up and kind of walked like a man, you know.
If a squirrel like that found a way to adapt, it would be really cool to see. You know what I'm saying? If he was able to like do pretty much whatever he needed to do on 2 legs, I don't think it's possible, but it would be cool to see it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And what about there's like a few people with no arms and legs that are humans that do great. There's that guy that's a preacher that has no arms and legs, and he preaches all over the world, and he serves, he types, he's completely self-sufficient without the help of anybody.
Yeah, like that Olympic swimmer, Bob.
Who?
Never mind. You missed it.
Oh, bobbing like up and down because I'm slow. Dude.
CS caught it right away. I was like, oh yeah. Had to slide down one right in there. Barry, you left yourself open on that one.
I did. I wasn't ready.
Yeah, that Olympic swimmer, you know, Bob.
You sick, sick, morbid person. I love you, Mark. You're all right in my book. I don't care what anybody says, man.
Yeah.
Right?
I know, man.
Right, yeah. I don't care
I
what
know
Willie
you
says
do that.
about
You
you.
show up 2 minutes
I don't
late.
believe him
It's no big
anyways
deal.
most of the
You know, you
time.
take it so lackadaisical. You don't care about the show, you know. I mean, what producer comes 2 whole minutes late?
Oh, I wasn't late. I've been here the whole time. I just didn't
Yeah,
connect
but
to
you
you.
weren't ready to go, man. You weren't ready to go. Unprepared.
God
You
damn
know what
it,
it
will
is?
you
It's
stop
those
doing
blue
that?
lights, man, on your computer. They're putting you in a trance. They
Right.
spin, and you like, you're like, I don't know. You're hypnotized, mesmerized. And then look at him,
Oh my
CS.
fucking God.
Look at him. He's got like on that left computer there. It looks he's pretending like he's got a lot of stuff going on. You see that? See how that
A
works?
lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
You think?
Don't you see what I'm saying, CS? I mean, he's faking
Yeah.
this thing so well, man. Like that computer. There's no hard drive in it. It's just all for looks.
Yeah, it's just for looks, right?
It's a bare bones thing.
Yeah, because I always broadcast live from the Faraday cage, right?
You do?
No.
I'd like to see how that gets done.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I want to get one of those for my smart meter outside in the back, though.
That's probably why my Wi-Fi and my other signal is low at times, and my kids complain, "Dad, you have 20 billion tabs up. We have no internet." What are you talking about? I'm plugged directly in.
Yeah, you're using it all up.
No, the Wi-Fi don't work like that. There we go.
We got Doc coming in, by the way.
Cool. We have him loaded in on the deal already, I think. Pretty sure, unless he's using a different.
Yeah. I haven't sent him the link or anything yet. I was hoping he'd just pop in here. Because finding the damn link for this room is like fucking trying to find the tooth fairy.
Sometimes.
Well, yeah, it is. The way I get here, it's scattered, man. It's like there's no. I should just be able to open something up, and there they are, and it's just not like that at all. I got to scroll through stuff to find where it's at. It almost works better the way that Mark did it just then, where he just sent it to me and I accepted it, and it almost works better that way.
Sure. You just want
I've got,
easy. You just want the easy way.
I do want the easy way. Things are already too difficult as they are.
Oh my God.
This thing used to have a homepage that every time I opened it up, it just had all the groups right there. That page is gone now forever. I have no clue where it is. And
Maybe can you open up, like create a new page in there and then just put all of them in there, all the links, copy and paste them in there or something?
I don't.
All right, like I said, this whole format that it uses is not familiar to me. Like there's no other program that I've used that's like that. So that's kind of why I haven't. And I know if I probably spent 3 or 4 hours trying to figure it out, I could, or maybe if I asked Chat GPT, but even that would be an hour at least, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's I don't know why they got rid of Skype. They should have got rid of this and put everything on Skype.
Yeah,
exactly.
But
they want the money.
They want money and control. That's what it's about.
Money and control, man. Money and control. Yes, sir. Just talking about that today on Minds, about control. Man.
Let's listen to this. Kash Patel, current director of the FBI.
Kash Patel, director of the FBI. I must be from the BBC.
Yeah, we've got like the first whole segment minimum is Epstein.
Well, that's all talked about today on social media, man. I got so fired about it. I could not. I even created a meme. It's trending #1 on Minds right now. It's the I don't remember what it says. It's got a picture of Epstein with a bunch of newspapers articles behind it, and it says we're never going to stop talking about Epstein until justice is served. Something along those lines. And I don't care what Trump says, dude. I really don't. I don't care what. We're never. It's been 20 plus years since 9/11, and we haven't stopped talking about 9/11 yet. At least I have, and I know you're probably not on the same page with me on that. But I'm all on with the 9/11. You're getting a new 9/11.
I'm so sick and tired of 9/11. We all know what happened, so come on.
Well, I want people arrested. I want people to pay for it, what they've did.
Well, they're never going to do it. It's no different than the Kennedy BS. All right, so.
Well, here we go. Here's the thing. You may be right.
No, I am right. I'm going to tell you, I'm right on this.
Well, nobody knows the future, so it's hard to tell. But, I'm not contesting that you may be right. But if that's true, that doesn't change my position any, because I enjoy being a thorn in their side. Because that's the only way you get anywhere closer to accountability and transparency, is by being a thorn in their side, a constant thorn in their side. And I take great glory in that.
Well,
I enjoy that.
Yeah, well, look where that got the folks that did the same thing with JFK and RFK.
Well, it's not over till it's
not
over.
RFK, but his other brother.
Maybe like a worst case scenario, none of this gets disclosed during my lifetime, but that doesn't mean it won't be disclosed. In another person's lifetime or another.
All right, you're gonna get that disclosure the minute that they disclose about aliens being real. All right, and we know that that's gonna happen real soon.
You're awful confident tonight. I think you need to be on the show with us, man, and voice that opinion. That's what it's all about, man.
I jump in far too often. I'm sure John even will agree with me on that. And I'll probably have to come in tonight and talk on Nancy's show too, because I don't know how Nancy's doing right now. Roger Hansen restreaming us from all over.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool, man. Yes, sir. Yeah, there's a lot going on with the whole Epstein thing, and I think there's a lot of possibilities of what's happening. But maybe what Alex Jones is saying is partially true. I'm just not too sure right now what to believe, because things are just not always as they appear, man. Things aren't quite that simple like they used to be. So we'll find out, but I remember Alex saying a couple of weeks ago, him and I think it was Owen Schroyer both, they were like, Epstein's still alive, they believe. Like he was put into some kind of protective custody. But his theory is different than the Q theory. Like the Q theory believes that the white hats have him in custody. I think where Alex Jones and Owen Schroyer stand, it's more like they think he's in the deep state's custody. So, I mean, I don't know, I think really any possibility at this point in time, because these are such weird times, man, we could be surprised by a lot of different things, man. I'm not putting my money behind any one theory, that's for certain. I just like to war game it and look at all the different potentials and then see where everything kind of leads, what direction, and say, well, I think it's this, but it could be that or that. What do you say, CS? He must be taking a bathroom break. He's giving me time, time before the show. At least we're filling up the airwaves right now. Welcome, everybody, to the show, to the pre-show. And, glad to have you on board.
Got Shadow, let's see here. Shadow Grind and Leidenex and Bryant and Aphrodota 2 and Hokey Pokey, Big Crumbs in the kick chat
Hokey
already.
Pokey, turn yourself around. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Okay, that was uncalled for.
Right.
Dude, that's not what it's all about.
It's not. Can't be. Hey, he comes out. See, every now and then he pops his head up during the pre-show.
Can't be what it's all about.
It just can't be what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? I'm much smarter than that. I know what I'm talking about.
I sure do.
We could both be Saul Alinsky. I could be I could be the Saul Alinsky clone, the malfunctioning Saul Alinsky clone that came out of the clone factories.
All right.
Okay. Where is my damn water bottle? Oh, it's.
Don't talk that way about your water bottle, man. It's got feelings too, you know.
God, I had a barbecue today for work.
And let me guess, a freebie?
Yeah, it was free. I mean,
nice.
But it was damn good. They had this pulled pork that was just like something special, man. I don't know what they did to it. Was
it smoked?
It was good, dude. I've never had one that tasted quite like that. It was just damn good.
Yeah, man.
I can't put my finger on what it was, though, man. I don't know if it was smoked or what, but it was just good.
Was it the barbecue sauce, maybe?
Yeah, it was like
part of it. Yeah.
Like they had barbecue sauce at the end of the table, and I was joking how like there's no way in hell you'd ever want to put more barbecue sauce on the stuff. It was like soaking in this like liquid in there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm down with the barbecue, man. So you can't beat that.
Yeah.
It's kind of my favorite. I think it's like that in Chinese food, like really good Chinese food, though. Not just all Chinese food is just because you put the word Chinese in front of it doesn't make it good. But there is a Chinese restaurant that I go to in Tulsa that's like, it's been #1. It's like a hole in the wall, like a real small, tiny little hole in the wall. It's been there for like, I don't know how many decades, but it's in the top 3 every year. And I know the owners real well, and they always treat me well, and they got good pot stickers, and I mean, what's God? It's just so good, man.
Nice.
No MSG, no MSG either. They don't cook with it, so that's good.
Oh, that sucks.
I know you love MSG, don't you?
It's the best, dude. It's the best.
I mean, I'm sure it tastes the best. I just don't trust it.
Well, it's better than salt.
It's kind of addictive, I've heard, though. That's another problem with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No more than like heroin.
Yeah, that's true. Little heroin never hurt anybody.
Yeah, you know. I used to suck dick for coke. Have you ever sucked dick for some MSG?
Oh
No,
my
I can't say
God!
that.
Really?
That was oh God, what movie was that? And Bob Saget said that line. It was with Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle's trying to get off marijuana. He's trying to quit smoking weed, so he goes to a rehab meeting, and he starts going up and talking about how addicted he is and how he just can't quit. And all of a sudden, he's like, "Yeah, man, I really like that weed." And they're like, "You're in here for marijuana?" And then Bob Saget stands up and he's like, "Yeah, I used to suck dick for coke. You ever suck dick for weed? I didn't think so." Bob Saget.
But you wonder, though, he's kind of controversial figure, dude. I mean, a lot of people. A lot of people.
Yeah, raunchy.
Dude.
He was a raunchy dude. I mean, he's got a really nasty sense of humor. It's funny as hell. But he's such a family guy, you know.
Yeah, he looks so straight edge, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's what makes it so funny when he says such raunchy shit. Because you're like, okay, I didn't expect that from Bob Saget.
He comes out in a suit and tie and looks all clean and sharp and shit, you know. Oh yeah, Bob Saget.
Everybody that knew him, knew he's that way though.
I imagine by now someone in chat put in the name of that movie, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Oh, The Great Conspiracy and Drippy Drip TV is in the Kick Chat.
And he kind of died in a weird way too, man. You know, a lot of people think that that was a COVID thing. Yeah. So he like bumped his.
I didn't know he was dead.
Yeah, he died.
Excuse me.
You okay?
No.
No, I didn't think so. But Barry's here.
I'm alive and well, man. Ready to go.
Oh, no.
Yeah, okay, so let's see. I got homie probably looking for the link. Have a minute. Okay, let's find the link in here. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. This people. Add people. Mute all people, share. Copy. Okay, I got the link. Yay, I got the link.
Oh, Doc says send him the link.
That's what I just said, right? That's what I was just doing.
No, that's just what you were doing. That wasn't what
Yeah.
you were doing. That's just what you were doing.
You're telling me to do what I'm doing in the moment.
He's over in Rumble with Apple Eater with Rome. Hey, we might even have some folks talking in the Rumble chat tonight, which would be nice. It's always so quiet over there, even though we get folks in. They're like, you know, voyeurs. It would probably sound better if voyeurs came out of the mouth of Saul Good. But, you know, hey, I can't do that.
Yeah.
You know.
Sure you can.
I think a lot of people are talking about this weather stuff that's going on, because you got New Mexico now, and you've got what's the other place that's getting some serious flooding?
Texas.
Yeah, Texas, but not just, and New Mexico, and one other place, Chicago, as well. So, yeah, it's look. I mean, the mainstream media more or less admitted that the Dubai was cloud seeding, and that's what caused the flood. And then so for us to just ignore that and pretend like they're not cloud seeding, you know, when this is unprecedented, the kind of floods that we're having, to not question it, to me, that's an admission of guilt. That's an admission of guilt, because something's going on with that, man. I just don't buy that it's climate change at all. I think that it's people messing with the weather, you know, so. And it was interesting. Let's see. James O'Keefe had on Marla Maples, Trump's ex-wife, and she was talking about the chemtrails and all kinds of, you know, real conspiracies that I believe are actually happening. And there's a 4-minute clip out there that's circulating. That's if you want to listen to a short one, but there's like a 2-hour interview. But that's kind of cool that it's Trump's ex-wife talking about it. And by the way, she's beautiful for her age. I mean, I don't know. She's got to be like my age, and she's a beautiful woman still.
Yeah.
Intelligent, you know, smart.
Well, any of it looks good. That accent would drive me crazy, though.
Perhaps.
Honey, have you cleaned up the kitchen yet? There is a mess that needs to be cleaned up. If you've done it yet, please.
Is that how it went? I'm not sure that's exactly how it went, but an A for effort, though.
All right. Did he find the link?
I gave him the link, and he said gracias.
Okay.
And then he might be waiting to get closer to the start of the show to come in, which will mean that he'll be in the next one.
Right. He wouldn't be in this one. He'll be in the next one. That's right. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah.
No, I gave him the link to this one. I don't have the link to the next one.
Well, you should give him the link to the next one. So
I just let him in the room.
Can't do it while we're in here.
Hello, sirs.
All right.
Hello, sir. How are
I'm
you
getting
today?
ready to switch us to the next room. Right now.
Can you add him now and then ring him into the next room?
I won't have time. Hold on here. I'll
Doc,
see
we got to switch over to another room here.
Yeah, if you just drop me the link, I'll switch right over.
Okay, sounds good.
Hey, and Barry's still over on the other side. And and I don't know where Barry's at.
Wait, let's see.
There he is.
Right here.
Man, I thought I was going to be in first, but no, John beat me to it.
No, because you were still on hold, I guess.
Man.
We still got to get Doc in here.
I'd give him the link.
Okay.
Oh, they know where to find it.
Yes, sir. We're about ready to roll, ladies and gentlemen. We can't have dead air, even though it's the pre-show. So, what's happening, everybody? How's your life? What's going on? Are things crazy? Are things stable? Are things average? What's going on? What's going on with everybody listening in? Say something in the chats, man. Let us know.
You're not going to be able to hear him.
I know.
There you are.
Okay, cool.
I let him in.
What up, Doc?
Not much, guys. How's it going?
What up,
Yeah,
Doc?
man.
All
Welcome
right,
back.
30 seconds, fellas.
Perfect time.
And 5, 4.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you are live and on the radio side, like right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, Wednesday night edition for July 9th, 2025, and we're going to get into it. Oh, are we going to get into it, man? With me tonight, I've got Doc, Tor 420. How you doing, Doc?
Doing well. Doing well.
Awesome. We also got Bullhorn Barry on the mic.
Yes, sir. I'm doing well as well.
Excellent. Good to have both of you. And all right, we got to get into the elephant in the room here. Epstein had no list. They had no clients after all. It's nothing to see here, and he definitely killed himself. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Are we joking here? What's going on? This has got me riled up.
Yeah, I think it's got everybody riled up, but I'll let Bullhorn Barry take this one first and see what he has to say.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot of ways to look at it, don't you? I mean, I think the best that we can do is war game it. There's kind of the Alex Jones theory, which says that the deep state approached Trump and said, man, if you will back off these disclosures, we'll back off of you and let you do part of your agenda, let you do some things, give you some freedom, which I think if that's true, I'm not saying that it is, that no deals can be made. You cannot make deals with devils because they will betray you. So even if that's true, the idea that he might do that is a big mistake, because these people, they take liberties that they should not take, and they're not going to keep any kind of a deal, man. I mean, it's like making a deal with the devil. You think he's really going to keep it?
No, he's not. No. These are pedophiles. You're making a deal with pedophiles. That's unacceptable.
Agree.
You know, alleged pedophiles. But Trump was asked about this the other day. I just want you guys to hear his response. Listen to this.
Yeah, sure. If I
Could I just interrupt for a second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Want to waste the time, and if you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy. What happened in Texas? It just seems like a desecration. But you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that.
And I'm not going to play what she says because she just rambles off a bunch of BS. But what an attitude. What an attitude. He comes out, you're still talking about this? Well, yeah, we're talking about this. You just came out with it yesterday and said there's nothing there. Of course we're going to be talking about this. It's shocking to me. It's really Donald. I mean, I've said it before. I like a lot of what he does, but there's some things he does that I just don't agree with. And this is one. I think he screwed up. I think he screwed up hard on this one.
Oh, it's a terrible, terrible look. It's super bad optics. No matter what the background noise is, it just looks bad no matter which way you slice it. Now, Barry said that we should, to break down some more games. Let's. What are some of the other options? Do you think?
Okay.
CS. What are some possible?
Okay, Wayne Allen Root put out an article today, and he talked about this stuff. And he's saying, great news. We've had all this stuff going on, but he talks about some of the scenarios that could have happened here. And he's telling the president, look, no one's buying this. Nobody's buying it. We're shocked. We're angry. We're delusional. It's crazy. He's guessing that he's got two options here, right? A, I'm guessing half of Congress was on the Epstein list, or certainly a lot of prominent congressional leaders from both sides of the aisle. I think Trump may have made the decision to stop the release of the Epstein list in return for passing the big, beautiful bill, thereby preventing a massive tax increase on the American people that could have led to economic collapse. And or option B, Trump made a moral decision that so many political leaders, business leaders, and influential people who run this country were on that list that releasing it would bring down much more than the deep state. It would bring down our entire nation and our economy, leading to a collapse and potentially a Great Depression. So there's two, obvious things there. If you really want to get cynical, is he somehow involved in it? Is he somehow on that list?
A lot of people are leaning that way. I happen to not, but I actually think he's just a boomer. No offense to any boomers. Some of you are great. Some of you not so much, just like every generation. But I think he's just very much trusts that the founding fathers built a system that can withstand these trials and tribulations. And if we do things right and do things following the rules, that we'll win. And I don't think he realizes that we're up against something that took over that system. I don't think he fully still grasps the concept that we're fighting a international conglomerate that runs us like an empire with a board of directors. And I think those people have a vested interest in this not being out there, because I think what it really hides, something that no one hardly ever talks about, is that Jeffrey Epstein was, at least by face, a money launderer for that empire for nearly 40 years. Nope.
And I don't think, I mentioned that Trump could potentially be on the list. I highly doubt it too, right?
Yeah,
that guy could go outside, snap his fingers, and the hottest 10 on the planet would be on his arm in 4 seconds flat. You know what I mean? Like he never had a problem with the women in his life.
Correct.
If anything, the problem was he had too many models trying to track him down,
Yeah, he was. His problem was choosing particular baby mamas that he didn't get along with in the right way, and that kind of led to some trouble in his life and some cheating and things like that. But I don't think he's done anything on the level that would be blackmailable worth. I don't. I think it would be out there. I think the worst things have come out as far as what they're willing to target him with that doesn't take them down as well. I just think there's a net over top of everything government that has to do with superstructures like, the Bank of International Settlements, the International Monetary Fund, the Council on Foreign Relations. These groups dictate a lot of what goes on geopolitically between nations, which then directly influences our politics at home. And I think he's kind of been dragged into a little bit of a trap here with some of the decisions he's made with all of this recently, probably in the last 2-3 weeks.
And I'm going to throw out one more scenario, is that the deep state straight up told him, man, you release this stuff. You thought COVID was bad. We've got stuff way worse than that, and we'll release it as well. So you want to start releasing stuff, we'll release stuff. Or what's next? In other words, today I was driving home and I was just thinking about COVID, and I'm like, there's no way Trump's going to get through 4 years without another attack on America like COVID. you know?
Mhm.
And so,
Yeah.
but Barry, I want to get your ideas. What else do you think? You brought up this idea of the war rooming it. So what else you got? What else could you imagine is the reason why they would flip flop on this so hard?
Well, before I say anything about that, I just want to point out too that Trump is forgetting that Diddy just basically got off scot-free.
Mm-hmm.
And people are very ticked off about that as well.
Same people involved too.
Yeah, and it's kind of all coming around the same time. And so it's like a double blow. And for us not to be, for him to expect us not to be upset about it, when this has been something that for a lot of people like myself, and I'm sure Doc as well, and you as well, CS, we've been talking about the Epstein thing for a couple of decades, wanting justice and wanting that whole thing to be disclosed and for people to be held accountable. So this is not like something that just happened yesterday. And by the way, I'm bringing out my Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself cap again. It's been sitting on the shelf for a long time, and I'm going to start wearing that as well. But, it is possible that maybe he's, and again, man, I hate to even sound like over positive because it seems almost gullible, but it is possible that he's waiting for a more opportune moment to have that stuff released, because it could be used against him, like you guys were saying, especially what you were saying, CS. They might like unleash some kind of a COVID or something if he tries to do it. So he might try to release it, near the end of his term, these documents and so forth, and he's just said, hey, we got to sit on this for now because it's too hot for right now, and there's already enough chaos and stuff that's going on right now. So, and again, that's maybe being completely wishful thinking. I don't deny that fact, but I think that we can't rule it, because do you really think that Trump's the rollover kind of guy after they've tried to kill him twice? I just don't see it.
Yeah. And, they're going to release that next COVID 2.0 they have or whatever. It's going to happen. We're not going to get through 4 years without some major attack on Trump and his administration, just like they did to him, in 2020 with COVID. It's bound to happen. Cyber attacks, you name it. Something is going to come down that pike at some point. So we need to be kind of prepared and ready for that in the back of our mind. But
I think we're already fighting off a lot of that stuff already. I think we're not really privy to how much of that stuff we're already fighting. You said something about the COVID thing that made me think of Dan Bongino and Kash Patel. I heard somebody ask, what would make two guys who are clearly tough, clearly patriotic, they believe in America. I mean, granted, they're former feds, so whatever, but they feel like the right kind of guys for the job, and then to go out in the public and look like somebody like showed them a ghost or an alien, or told them that they were going to unleash a bioweapon that destroyed. It was just, I mean, they look like they've been scared, and not your typical like, oh, you're going to be killed. That would seem like something that they would be okay with. It had, if something pushed them, because I don't think the truth is Epstein killed himself. I don't think any of us believe that.
No.
So.
Yeah, I was almost tempted to start the show with one of those memes where it's like, the African swallow is the 5th largest mammal in the country. And by the way, now that I have your attention, Epstein did not kill himself.
No.
I've seen a million of those memes over the years. And they always crack me up. I'm going to play a clip from Asmongold of Benny Johnson. It's a couple layers deep, and now it's going to get another layer deep. But this is Kash Patel. Check it out.
Oh, here we go. Let's listen to this. Kash Patel, current director of the FBI, 6 months ago, right before he started.
It's the same thing with Epstein's list. It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing? You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast in human history? Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list? What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list? You're going to accept Dick Durbin's word, or whoever that guy is, as to who is on that list and who isn't, and that it can and can't be released? Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are. We have an election coming up, and we need to adjudicate this matter at the polls. God knows the FBI and DOJ aren't going to do anything, and we can't even get basic documents out. And this is why I'm tired of the Republican majority saying they're going to get.
I think a lot of people are.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Holy, that's 6 months ago. Kash Patel, screaming bloody murder.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, put your big boy pants on. And then, like you said, yeah, he came out, when he said there's nothing to see here, and he looked like he saw a ghost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up. It's kind of crazy, man. I never expected this from this administration. I just didn't.
Why haven't we heard about the 380,000 missing children as well? For a long time, we haven't heard anything about that. Like, how's that hunt going on? How are we finding any of the kids? Are we still working on that? I mean, these are things that are like super duper important to MAGA. Maybe not all of MAGA, but a good percentage of MAGA really wants to rescue these kids, man, because these kids are being possibly sex trafficked and used in child labor. And as Trump said, he said during the campaign trail, he said most of them, and I quote, most of them are probably dead, he said.
Yeah. I know they did find, found like 66,000 of them. They located them. They just decided not to show up for their appointments and refused to contact whoever. So they found those, but that's the last I heard of anything.
Yeah, me too. That's the last I've heard.
Yeah, and that's a real mystery right there. I mean, 250,000 kids now are missing, and no one's really cares. No one's really seems to be looking into it, and I don't know, man. Goes to show you where our priorities are.
Unfortunately, I mean, I don't know if you have this later in the show or not, but then we have the Ukraine sending weapons back to the Ukraine, and things aren't going well with conversations with Israel and Iran, and I mean, I just. This is like kind of like the exact opposite. At least the domestic stuff is doing okay, but I mean,
it's a boiling pot, man. I'm telling you, crazy and chaos.
At the very least, though, I mean, as Wayne Allen Root was saying in his article earlier, this has been probably the best 6 months for America in decades, right? In decades.
Ways, yeah, right.
He's a very successful president on almost every point, but man, we're not buying it. That's the bottom line. On this one, no. We're not buying it. Even if Trump comes out and says it's a fact, and I can't believe you're still talking about Epstein. Well, yeah, we're still talking about Epstein, and we're going to keep talking about him until we get answers. So, and hey, if this takes down half of Congress, so be it. Let them rot. They deserve to go down. If this takes down half of Wall Street, and let it be. I don't care. They deserve to go down. Our country's resilient enough to get through this. If Bill Gates is a pedo, our economy will crash. No, it won't. We'll be just fine. And if it does, it's a good crash. It's a good thing the market went down because we weeded out pedophiles from top positions of power and influence in this country. It has to end.
Yep.
Man, that's so good. Good job, CS, man. Totally agree with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got to check myself. That's why I'm kind of handing the mic off to you guys because I don't want to get too passionate about this because it really is disgusting.
It's so offensive, and I love Trump. I'm a big Trump supporter, but the way he's just being dismissive about this is just ultra offensive, man. And again, it could be a strategy. I don't know, but I just don't like it. I created a meme on social media. I got it posted on X. I got it posted on Truth and on Minds.com, and it says Epstein stays front and center until justice is served. We're never backing down. We are never backing away from this until it all comes out.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, let's see. I got another article here talking about how the former CIA officer says the deep state probably destroyed a lot of this stuff, and that makes sense. I totally would believe that. It's just, I don't know. Pam Bondi a couple months ago said the list is on my desk. I'm reviewing it right now.
Yeah, and she covered her butt with a bunch of back talk and nonsense. I tell you, one thing that we should look into is something we should really be pressuring people, like call your local legislators and have them pressure the White House to figure out the chain of custody from beginning to end of all of the material, from the first arrest till the very end, because that stuff has to be logged by the FBI. That has to be logged by, it has to go into their records. Who touched what, who collected what, where it was put. I mean, we know it's missing, but who was responsible for it? Let's get some heads rolling. They just approved your Supreme Court. You can start purging. You can start firing people. Great. Let's get them in front of Congress and let the heads roll. Because I mean, if we're not going to target Bill Gates and these other people, let's get the people responsible for covering it up for them.
That's a good idea. Yeah. I mean, at least that's some justice here.
Now, again, at least it's some red meat for the problem that he's created, you know?
Yeah. And let's face it, I mean, you know, that client list, it existed. They're saying it never existed. It was never a thing. They never had a client list.
Yeah.
BS. That is straight up BS. Someone destroyed it. When they went into his mansion in New York City, all that stuff, there was, I mean, servers in there, entire server rooms, you know, filled with nasty stuff. Now they're just saying, well, it's just random child pornography. That's all it ever was.
Well, we know that's nonsense. We know that's nonsense.
Yeah, absolute nonsense.
Yes, you made a great point about just the whole house of cards has to come down. I think that's the only way that this kind of stuff ends. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that would be a great collapse to have that deep state at that level, right? Yeah. Where there's brownstoning going on and people being compromised because of, you know, this sort of thing. That needs to totally be destroyed. And the only way for that to be destroyed is for it all to come out, no matter how shocking it might be to the public and how temporarily demoralizing it might be.
Yeah, and it might crash the stock market, and we might have simultaneous, you know, like COVID 2.0 and anthrax, you know, and you name it across the board, just a bad time for all. But it's because it's the deep state pedophile network fighting back with the last straws of power that they have to hurt us on the way down. If they're going to go down, we're going to go down with them. You know what I mean? And that hurts and it sucks, but at least when you come out the backside of that one, you got a clean government, and the sickos are all gone.
Yeah,
you know, the sickos.
That would be preferable than continuing forward with whatever grotesque plans they have. I mean, you can only imagine if they can manage to stall Trump's revolution, his rebellion, the MAGA push. If they can disrupt that and cause it to shatter into a bunch of different factions, it breaks open the door for that globalist agenda to come right back on the table. And that's terrifying, because if the people leading this charge are the people on that Epstein client list or associated with him in some way, shape, or form, I don't want to know what they have in store for us.
Yeah, it's going to be awful. I mean, it will be awful, but it has to happen.
Yeah.
And they could booster our confidence by simply doing something as very simple as just having a first set of arrests of some really bad, crooked people. You know, maybe go after some of these people that they said they're going after, or at least that's the scuttlebutt, like Comey and others, and let's get our first set of arrests, man. That would give us a little bit more confidence that Trump is going to do all the things, you know, the mandate. You know, because part of the mandate is Epstein, dude. Part of the mandate is cleaning up house, man, and getting rid of the pedophiles, and getting rid of the corrupt sycophants.
Yeah. And, you know, they think this is going to sever the MAGA movement, you know, put a wedge in it. And I don't see that happening because, as I said before, we've had the best 6 months of American, you know, governance in decades, going back to Reagan and probably beyond that. I mean, Trump is, if he can finish his 4 terms and things keep going the way they are right now, he'll be considered one of the best presidents of all time, without a doubt. And that's what they are so scared of him about, is that his simple common sense capitalist ideas work. And they know they work. And they don't want America to see how simple it is to actually put America on steroids and have this become, you know, once again, the wealthiest country on the planet. You know, It can happen. We can fix the debt. We can do a lot of things if we stick to our guns and embrace capitalism and free markets and get rid of regulations, lower taxes, just give America a clear runway to just build up speed and go, go, go. And before you know it, 36 trillion in debt will seem like a very small number compared to a $100 trillion economy. You know?
we got to get that empire under control, man.
Yeah.
We got to close military bases. We have to get people off of social services. We have to get people back in the workforce. There's a lot of work to do, and this kind of stuff that he's bumbling, specifically in what we're talking about, the Epstein stuff. This is a bad distraction for things that need to be done. Perhaps maybe it'll blow over if he gets a lot of stuff done, but there are some people very, very angry about this. And I don't know that if those people are going to, they may not vote for Democrats, but they may stay home in midterms. And that would be very bad.
Well, think about it, though. I mean, everything Trump's doing is great. You know, and on top of that, we've got no one on the left would have ever done what he's doing. Hey, I'll tell you what, let's take us to break, folks. This is the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. We'll be right back after this short message.
All right, we're on radio break.
All right.
All right, man. Groovy.
Yeah. Oh man, I tell you, I was personally just unbelievably disappointed with the way that it was handled. Like, even if you're gonna even if it is, that's gonna crash the markets and whatever, just be honest and be like, listen, we can't do this. There's too many parts. We're just gonna promise you this. You don't want to know, and let's just work on making things great again. At least then they'd be honest. I feel like everybody's being so dishonest.
Well, it sort of gives credence to the fact that there was some intimidation to the Trump administration. Otherwise, he would have just shut up and not even talked about it.
Yeah.
Because being silent about it would be way better than saying, "Oh, it's nothing. That's just conspiracy. It's he killed himself, and there's no list, and it was all just Jeffrey Epstein and his child porn alone by himself. That's all it was." And since he's dead, we can't do anything about that. So, just let it rest, let it go.
Kind of like what it reminds me of Bill Gates when you just said that. It reminds me of him saying, well, he's dead now, so there's that.
Exactly. I remember that interview. That was so great. So obvious what he was.
It's kind of how this whole thing feels right now.
Yeah, well, too bad he's dead, because now, we can't get to the bottom of everything.
Yeah.
Going home.
Okay.
He's at the house waiting for me. I love you.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, my God. Really?
What?
Oh, nothing. Just people being idiots.
Oh.
Standard.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. I'm not too happy with the Iran thing myself, but if it doesn't go any further than it did, we'll call it a wash. It's not the first time that we've had to bomb somebody into, not giving us trouble in the future. But I don't like the empire stuff, and I think that's part of the reason why we're so deep in this mess with Epstein. I think he was part of laundering money for dark operations and getting control over certain people for various allies, and I just think that's the kind of mess we can't be involved in if we want to have actual America. Like, otherwise we turn into every other empire. America goes away.
Yeah, if we don't get arrest indictments and convictions, every victory that Trump has will be short-lived. It could extend into another 4-year term, maybe under Vance, but it won't be long-term. We have to really hold all the rule of law has to be established at every level. That means that the people that have done these horrible crimes, at least some of them, need to be held accountable, so that the message is sent out that you just can't go about your normal, these crooks can't go about their normal shenanigans. Right. And I think that's, even if we don't get all of them, if we get enough of them and put enough of them away publicly, it becomes a message that reverberates for a generation.
Like they're doing with Antifa now in Portland,
Correct.
They're finally starting to arrest some of them.
So glad they're finally starting to pay attention. And, well, the people that live up there finally got fed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you live pretty nearby, so.
Yeah, yeah. I've lived far enough away that I don't get too much of it, but I get all of the info on what's going on. Even though my son, where he works, the one shop he manages, they come in there to get their Antifa van prepped up before rallies, so I know like 2 days before a rally starts.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Right, 30 seconds, guys.
Nice.
Oh, and everybody gets quiet because I said 30 seconds.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. All right, well, here's your countdown then. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're back live and on the air right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. And of course, in the last episode, we were talking about Epstein and how he didn't commit suicide. No, he did commit suicide. Sorry.
It's hard to tell.
Oh man, it's Did he? Didn't he? Did he? Didn't he? I don't know. Epstein hung himself on suicide watch. He was supposed to have another person in his cell with him, but they took that person away. The guards fell asleep. The camera stopped working, and he took a sheet or something that, if you're on suicide watch, they don't really give you normal linen. They just give you kind of a piece of glorified paper. But he got wrapped around his neck and hung himself like a foot off the ground. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Ridiculous stuff. And we're supposed to believe that this is all nothing to see here. Nothing to see here, folks. The whole Epstein thing, the years and years of looking into this and talking about it, all the information that's come out, nothing to see here. Donald Trump has turned his back on the American people as far as this is concerned when he ran on and promised us that he would get this information out once and for all. And what I was saying, or trying to get to before we ran out of time before, is that they think it's going to divide the MAGA movement. But we agree with Trump on everything else so far. It's been one of the most consequential presidencies of anyone's lifetime. And here's something that we would have never gotten even close to with Kamala in office. With Joe Biden in office, is the Epstein file. Who's Epstein? Never heard of him, right? So at least we're getting the same treatment we'd be getting if Trump had lost. But we also get all the good stuff too. So I don't know. I mean, it's one issue. I'm not going to lose my faith in the guy because of this, but man, he better figure this out, that he's made a terrible mistake, and they better come out and start, naming names and dropping charges.
Yeah, I mean, it's like me and Barry were saying during the break. If he doesn't actually cement law and order again, at all levels throughout the empire, throughout the nation, it won't last. The great stuff that we're getting domestically won't last if we don't actually solidify it with putting away the criminals that have made it this corrupt, and that's going to be a big part going forward.
It is. Barry, what do you got to say?
Yeah, I think that arrest indictments and convictions would solidify a lot, and I think that it would give us long-term victory, and I think that's what we want. And I hope that Trump understands that, and maybe, like I said, I don't want to sound too gullible here and believable and optimistic, but maybe this is just some kind of a strategy, that they're going to wait for the proper timing. I don't know. I don't want to sound, not too intellectual by being overly optimistic, but man, I still have to hold out some hope. You know what I'm saying? Because this is only 6+ months into his administration, man. He's got 3.5 more years, so I am going to give him some time. But yes, I will be greatly disappointed if we don't get any arrests, man, and indictments and convictions. I will be very concerned for the future of America.
And, he flip-flopped on the whole, COVID vaccine thing, right? He was all for it. And then, what John Rich had to sit him down and say, yo, man, people are not into this. Like, you start talking about this and they think you're crazy. Nobody believes the COVID vaccine works anymore. They realize it's dangerous. It's more dangerous than it is helpful. And, the people who got, 7, 8, 9 shots are really looking at a world of hurt.
Yes. I think so.
Turbo cancer is now a thing.
Very
Yeah.
much. Well, there was an article that came out that said people under 50 are getting cancer like never before, and we just don't know why. And they always play, they always play dumb, sort of like with this, all the crazy flooding that we're having, Chicago, New Mexico, and in Texas and stuff. And then people are talking about possible cloud seeding, when it wasn't too long ago that Dubai did a whole bunch of cloud seeding and had flooding. So let's not forget that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there are legitimate use cases. Like I'm kind of torn on the whole cloud seeding thing, but I will tell you, like, there are so many things that are in our environment that are not good for us. So many things that these crazy vaccines are probably something we shouldn't be making everybody take. Like that. That's the kind of the point. Like, I mean, sure, if you want to take the risk, free market, go ahead. But forcing people to take it like was done, that's an area where we can get some things taken. Like Fauci would be a good head to roll. That would be a good one. That would be great for the masses.
Easy too, easy peasy.
Yeah.
That's a layup prosecution. For capital offenses. I mean, the guy, they could literally, he could see the death penalty for what he's done.
Yeah, certainly life in prison.
Funding it. Yeah. And they're still funding some of that crap. They still are doing it.
Hell, they stuck it in the big beautiful bill. Some of it. It was they refunded a program that ends up divvying out money to that. Yeah, that was disappointing. The bill was kind of 50-50. 50% crap, 50% good stuff. I really wasn't for the debt, but I mean, it's when you're talking about all of the different things that Trump's dealing with domestically, I think overall it's not terrible. Like it could be, we certainly could have Kamala in the auto pen running things. That would be not the greatest.
In other words, the Epstein list running things.
Yes. Well, yeah. Some would say they are still, but hey, look, I'll leave that to be seen. He's got a few months left until midterms.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the Epstein stuff is still left because this is blackmail material. They're not just going to get rid of it. Somebody's got it. Maybe some of it got deleted, but I guarantee, man, somewhere there's a stack of that stuff, whether our government has it or not.
UK has it. Israel has it. Saudi Arabia has it. Everybody that he did business with has something on somebody. I think that's probably why Trump is like, we're just going to kick this under the rug, let it go. But, I mean, that's how the system runs, unfortunately.
And I was wondering too, I mean, Prince Andrew was on that list, like extensively, right? Prince Andrew was up to his elbows in this stuff. I wonder if King Charles ever had a little dip in the water, Because that would be a reason for them to say, you can't release this, man. You can't incriminate the King of England in this.
Well, and he was really good friends with the pedophile, the world-renowned pedophile that died not too long ago. What's his name? He looked like a super duper creepy looking guy, man.
Oh yeah, he was famous over there for all the. Yeah, I can't remember his name.
He was considered a philanthropist, and he was a Satanist, and he was raping.
You're talking about Elton John.
Jimmy Seville.
Seville.
Yes.
There you go. The man from behind the maskets. All right, but yeah, that's
him and Charles were buddies, man. Big old buddies.
Big time. Yeah. Yeah.
So who knows? I mean, that's something. If all of a sudden you're like, dude, this will take down the King of England. Do we really want to do
Saudi
that?
Arabia too.
Yeah. Do we really want to, like, is that really like what we want to do? And the answer is yes. Yes. You want to take.
Well, we do. We do. Yeah. Yes.
A lot of it could be dependent upon us too. What happens? The end result could be, because Trump has listened to the MAGA base before.
This is true.
His position, he's done. That's why I said Epstein stays front and center until justice is served. We will never back away from it. We got to keep this at his feet at all times. And then maybe he'll say, okay, man, I'm at the end of my term here, and we're just going to unleash it all and let the chips fall where they may fall. I mean, that's kind of a big hope, I know, but But man, we have to just keep hammering this and never back away from it. I haven't backed away from 9/11 and getting to the bottom of 9/11, and I certainly am not going to back away from the Epstein thing.
Yeah, I don't think we should. I agree.
That's, I always laugh at how Willie tries to get that flat Earth thing, and he should try doing some 9/11s, mix them in there as well too. 9/11
was an inside job.
Tower 7 didn't kill
A
itself.
self-inflicted wound.
Yeah, right. Oh, we're learning all that stuff. Yeah, that was a Tower 7. That was a fire, man. It just turns out that was. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Every conspiracy you've ever heard is now out the window. Forget them all. They're just, a bunch of garbage.
Yeah, Gulf of Tonkin happened exactly like they tell you it did.
Precisely. All that good stuff. I think I'm actually inspiration for that thought. I might have even come off a tweet you put up where you talked about the Gulf of Tonkin.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's dive into some other stuff. You guys have anything else to say about Epstein for now?
No. I think we beat that horse pretty good.
Yeah. Barry, you want to beat on it some more? It's still kicking its leg a little.
Let's move on.
All right. Bombshell jobs report. Okay, this is crazy stuff, man. Barry, we've been talking about this forever, how during the Biden administration, all the millions of jobs he created, almost all of them went to foreign-born workers. Okay? Since the beginning of this year, American-born workers have gained 2 million jobs since January. Foreign-born workers have lost 500,000 jobs. Right. So when we see these new job reports and 175,000 jobs coming out, yada yada, those are going to native-born Americans. Finally, we've got an economy for everyone said, oh, the Biden economy was fantastic. Look at the numbers. It was fantastic. Well, it was fantastic for foreign-born people, for people on the visas, and you name it. It wasn't good for the average American, for how the ability to buy a home and a car,
we were in
raise a
recession.
family.
Yeah.
So we're finally getting past, we're finally going to start surpassing the pre-COVID levels of employment for native-born Americans, which is shocking.
I'm reminded
that
of
is
Chicago, where the black community in Chicago was really upset under Biden that they weren't getting the jobs because the jobs were going to illegals. Remember that? That was a big deal in Chicago for a while. We talked about that on the show many times.
Yeah. And also all the all the shelters and whatnot that were being put in place in community centers in black neighborhoods where, hey, my kid goes and plays there every day for 3 hours after school. What's he going to do now? Right? Because you turned it into a shelter for people from all over the world to come here and live.
Well, they kicked Section 8 people out too. They kicked people, American people on assistance out and put illegals in their housing units as well. So, I mean, that raised rent prices up in all of those regions because those people didn't get kicked off Section 8 and told to fend for themselves. They got approved for higher levels and went and got a new place to live, which then bumped somebody who couldn't get assistance out of the way. And so, yeah, I mean, there was reverberating impacts from importing 20 million illegals who were not actually in the system, but drawing from the system that were not showing up in the Biden numbers at all. And I'm really glad to see those numbers reversing. That's a huge, important step for keeping things going in the right direction, despite the other distractions.
And, people on the left would listen to us say, oh, native-born Americans, he means white people, right? No. The vast majority of the black people in America are native-born. The Hispanics, the vast majority are native-born. Up until Biden tried to reverse that,
Well, up until
you get what we're saying
2019. Yeah.
When we see his numbers going up in black and Hispanic and, other minority groups, they're native-born people, just like, you and me and everyone else, right? Native-born. That just means you were born in America. You go into the inner city, all native-born people,
Or just American citizens in general,
Exactly. Americans,
citizenship.
yeah.
Right.
I don't know. Native-born Americans. It's not a racist thing, man. Native-born Americans is a very diverse group of people. And guess what, man? We're America. We're the ones he should be putting first, and he is putting first.
Yep.
And I love it. We finally have a president who's putting us first, you know, after, 12 of 16 years of Biden and Obama, who never put us first.
Well, and you add in the 8 years of Bush on top of that, and he didn't put anybody but the military-industrial complex first. So,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's we've suffered. Like I've said last time I was with you guys, he is the best president of my lifetime. And I remember enough of Clinton and to understand that as good as the TV made him out to be, things were not that great for everybody. There was a lot of things that came in with him that were where a lot of this immigration stuff started was with Clinton, with NAFTA and things like that. And so, you know, we've been under a lot of stress domestically for a very long time. And it's good to see that somebody actually cares about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is, you know, and I don't know. I'm just happy to see those numbers reversing, and that's why I wanted to bring it up, because we've been talking about that forever. You looked at, you know, the Biden administration, the entire thing, all of the economic makeup, none of it went to native-born workers, and we're finally seeing that rebound and come back our direction. Thank you very much. You know, proud to be a natural-born citizen of the United States.
Yeah. Which
means that when I was born here, both my parents were American citizens. That's not that. You know, it's not hard. That's the vast majority of the people out there, you know, that we can draw from to become the president of the United States. Natural born citizens, meaning both your parents were U.S. citizens when you're born. That's the definition of it, folks. They've twisted it and turned it to mean that, well, maybe one of your parents, or maybe you were just born in America. You know what I mean? You could now be a, what do they call them? The visa babies, you know, where you live in babies, China. Yeah. Yeah, you live in China, you're there, you know, you're 8 months pregnant, you get on a plane, you go to LA for a month, give birth to a kid. Now you can come and stay in America as long as you want because your kid is an American citizen. Can that kid run for president? Absolutely not. You can't have a baby here, turn around, take it back to China, raise it in China until it's, 35, and then send it over, runs for president and wins. That's not how it works. That's not a natural born citizen, you know?
No, we got to put a stop to that kind of stuff, especially in the age of travel that we have today. It's so easy for people to come here and do such a thing, and perhaps our founding fathers would have never dreamed of it. But honestly, if you read some of the documents that they put in regarding the 14th Amendment and the naturalized citizen language that they put in there, it was specifically focused on the people who were not considered citizens, who were in slavery, who had been freed, and it was referring specifically to their children. It wasn't, referring to some foreign people that came from a foreign country. It was talking about people who were under the jurisdiction of a state of the United States, but not citizens. They would be granted citizenship from here forward. And that was... I think that's something that is gone kind of got pushed away by the liberal side. They've kind of expanded that meaning and allowed these anchor babies. And it's not good for the country. It leads to things like you mentioned, China creating dual citizen children that can be used as spies and get jobs and clearances in our government, which we've caught people doing. So, it's got to be put to an end. And I think doesn't he have legislation or some sort of edict in place to get that taken care of?
They're trying to fight. They're trying to fight it in the courts, because it's clearly a misinterpretation of the way the amendment was written.
Right.
And again, it's just like you say, the anchor babies, the tourist babies, it's a thing. It's a real thing. I mean, there's companies in China that specialize in just arranging the whole thing for you. You go to them, pay them $20,000 or whatever, and boom, you're on the next flight to America. You got a seaside, condo with the hospital across the street, and you're ready to go. They got all your meals planned out, and you name it. So, it's a real thing, and it needs to come to an end. Now, I get it. There's scenarios where I would want to see that kid have a U.S. citizenship, but I don't know. I'd have to war room a lot of it, right, and really get to the bottom of what's going on with all that stuff. But Anyway, let's get to Stephen Miller. He was on Jesse Waters tonight, and listen to this.
This is the central struggle in the West. The Democrat Party's objective is to flood the West with millions upon millions of illegals from the developing world, from the poor nations of the world, the failed states of the world, the collapsing states of the world, believing that in so doing, they will collapse the West. They will collapse the middle class. They will collapse the population that has lived here before the migrants came. And in so doing, they think in the rubble of that, they can rule. They can sit on top of the pile of ashes. Ask yourself this. Why is it that Democrats are so insistent that unlimited numbers of illegals from countries that are incapable of managing their own affairs come here? Countries like Somalia, countries like Haiti, countries that have no history of successful self-government, and they want unlimited numbers of illegals from those countries and refugees from those countries to come here with no chance at the pace, the scale, the scope of arrivals at being able to assimilate and integrate into the American way of life. What has it done to our schools? What has it done to our hospitals? What has it done to just traffic in our cities? Every issue that affects our quality of life, Jesse, public safety, drugs, crime, education, healthcare, waiting in the emergency room, are all exacerbated, worsened, and undermined by mass illegal immigration.
Okay, Barry, I mean, that's just a tee up for you, man. That just teed up, and I mean, swing at that puppy, go for it, buddy.
Yes, sir, man. Well, he sounds like us. You know what I mean? We're talking about for the longest time that the agenda is basically to burn it all down so they can rise up out of the ashes and rule as the masters of the universe in their little dystopian, liberal world order, so to speak, which would not be pleasant. You know what I'm saying? It would definitely be a lot of regulations, over regulations. Everything would be, we'd be leveled down, like not just one notch, but several notches, right? There would be like massive surveillance,
apps, you name it. Yeah.
Yeah. So to hear him talking like that is, man, that's a positive thing in my opinion, because he's right on board with, what all of us quote unquote conspiracy theorists have been saying for a long time now.
Yeah. And he's Trump's right-hand man. That's the beauty of it. So I don't know, Doc, what do you think of that?
I love that he's talking like that. And I think that their heart is in the right place in this, but I think there's something that they keep forgetting in all of this. And it clouds their judgment because they think that the current economic paradigm can keep continuing forward. And I just don't believe that the debt will allow us to ever get rid of all of them. I think eventually Trump is going to have to capitulate, and he's going to have to give a bunch of them an amnesty, because if he does deport all of them, they're going to end up having a recession. And if they have a recession, there's no way that he can achieve his economic goals. This is a part of the reason why libertarians were so upset about the big, beautiful bill, is it extended the debt further. The foundation behind the need to import immigration for slave labor, basically, is because the value of the dollar isn't increasing, it's decreasing, which makes the cost of labor more expensive, ends up causing a ripple effect throughout the entire economy. And it's the only thing that I have a problem with. Like it's really that you need to dig down into the core dirt of this and understand that labor costs and labor are fundamentally an economic issue. Yes, I want tight borders. Yes, I want the criminals deported. And, I wouldn't mind some of the socialists too. But honestly, to do that, we have to rein in spending. I mean, to bring our economy back up to the highest quality level for Americans, we got to get this debt under control. And it's, if not, governments and employers are going to have the incentive to keep immigrating, bringing people in.
But they can do that with legal, visas and things like that. We don't need it to be done in a lawless fashion, and we don't know who
That's
these
true.
people
That's
are
true.
And what their intent is. All these people that come over on visas that work on farms and so forth, man, they are like some of the most upstanding, Christian, Catholic, very strict morals, hardworking. They just want to make some extra money. Then they go back and they go back to home country. In fact, Trump's talking about that we're not going to get rid of those people, but we're going to do it in a way that's lawful.
Yeah, and to be fair, some of the people that are here illegally are also, good people at heart that just really want to get some money in their pocket and, maybe settle down here, but ultimately probably just go back to their home and, buy that ranch they've always dreamed of, because they worked in America for 8 years and saved up every dime they made. And so now they can afford a, 20, 40 acre ranch somewhere that they've always dreamed of, right? Anthony Bourdain went down to Mexico and went to a bunch of his kitchen workers' places down there in one of his shows. And that was what they were doing. They were up there making the money so they could buy these ranches. It was beautiful. I mean, he went down there. It was so cool. I mean, he worked side by side with these guys for years, and now they're down there, and they get to show him his home and make him dinner and the whole 9 yards. It was a pretty cool episode. So, yeah, I mean, there's good people on all sides, but we have to control this stuff. You have to know who's coming in and keep track of it and have a punishment if you overstay. I mean, if I go to Mexico and I try to overstay my visa down there, I'm going to be in big trouble. I might just see the inside of a Mexican jail, which is the last place in the world I want to end up. Right. So, no countries, I don't think I can't think of one at least that gives citizenship to anyone born on their soil.
No, most don't let you in without some sort of specialization. Even Canada.
If you're 8 months pregnant and you're there on vacation, they're, what?
You're not a citizen. No.
Yeah, your kid is not going to be a citizen just because you come in here and have your kid here. But anyway, folks, we've got to go to break. This is the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, and we'll be right back with Hour 2 after this message.
All right. We are on Radio Break.
Radio.
I should say these messages, shouldn't I?
We'll be back for these messages from our sponsors.
Yeah, I should have said, instead of saying we'll be right back after this message, I should say these messages. Because you remember the song, the jingle? After these messages, we'll be right back.
I don't know if I remember that one.
You should say we'll be right back after this message
We're
from
gonna,
our sponsor.
We're going to
Pfizer
let this one end, and then we'll go to the next one. That way you have enough time to go up to your...
Mark, would you object if Pfizer was one of the sponsors?
I don't know who the sponsors are. And
I know. I'm saying it's probably best that you don't know, because it probably is Moderna.
Yeah, but, the views expressed and the opinions given,
There you go.
are not necessarily of those of the sponsors, platforms, or stations that we are on. And guess who's in the Kick Chat?
Yotivation Nation.
No, not in Kick Chat. Your girl, Cecilia.
I was going to say Cecilia.
Isn't there a Cecilia song?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Simon and Garfunkel did it.
That's right. Yeah.
Breaking my confidence.
Yeah. That's the tune right there. It's a classic.
Yes, it is.
When I'm driving in the car, every now and then I'll put it on the classic rock, just
For nostalgia?
Yeah,
No,
and
no, that's what Barry listens to, right?
I don't mind I grew up on that Foreigner, Aerosmith.
Dude, you and I both know you're all about Christian rock nowadays.
Petra.
I'm more like Wolves at the Gate,
Amy
or
Grant.
1,000 Foot Crutch, or Skillet, or something like that, or Demon Hunter. I like Demon Hunter.
I'm still listening to all my rap albums from 1998. I'm good. New music, like there's some of it's all right, but like I find too much of it is like, especially stuff that becomes popular. I'm just like, I listen to all kinds of stuff though. I like all the genres of music. I am pretty partial to the rap stuff.
I like indie folk pop music myself a little bit. I mean, because I just with all the stress, it's very relaxing. You know, kind of coffee house music. So I listen to a lot of that.
We're gonna get kicked out of here pretty soon, so.
Okay, I'll send you the next link as soon as I'm in there, Doc.
All right. Cool.
Bye.
You guys can start heading over if you want, and just getting settled in and wait for my call. And I'll start the call right now. What? Oh my God. Barry, hold on. Folks, wait until I get censorship and the guys back up again. All right. That's censorship 2. Sorry about that. We'll get join now. Oh boy. Alright, looks like I'm going to have to take and use a different group again. So hold on here.